Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about backing up your web design folder that's in your files to your Google Drive. So that way we have a backup copy, and if for some reason your Chromebook crashes or your downloads gets too full and we have to start deleting items, we still have a backup. So let's go ahead and open up our files. So I'm going to go to my launcher here, go to my files, and you'll notice that in your launcher or files window, you have everything on the left shows you what drives your Chromebook has, and everything on the right shows you which drive you're accessing. So right now it shows me that I'm in my downloads and that this is everything on the right, everything that's in my downloads. You'll also notice that I have a zip file that's open in one of my drives, and that's something that you can eject. If you notice there's like a little eject button, you can always eject it, and that just basically gets rid of the zip file on the left hand side. All right, so now you'll notice that in our downloads, these are all the files I have. You probably have a ton of files, things from other classes. If you don't need them, I strongly suggest that you just delete them. So for example, I don't need these zip files. I've already looked at them, so I'm just going to delete them. However, if you don't have a web design folder in your downloads, let's go ahead and make one. If you're on your Chromebook, you're going to right click. I think you have a right click mouse button. Otherwise, you can hit Alt and click on your mouse and create a new folder. And your new folder is going to be called Web Design. So go ahead and do that. Now that you have a web design folder in your downloads, let's go ahead and put everything that has to do with web design that you want to keep in your web design folder. So let's do that. Maybe I have some files I want to put in. Maybe I've got this. And I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so now I have all my web design stuff, everything that I've done in my web design folder. And I'm going to double click on that just to see what's available. So you'll notice on the left hand side, it now says that I'm accessing my web design folder in my downloads. It also says it right up here. And in my web design folder, in my downloads, these are all the things that are in there. Yours will probably look very different, but you're just going to basically have things set up for all your assignments. So like I have my B assignment, I have my lounge assignment, I've got my Christmas or my break assignment, I've got some pictures in there. Anything that I want to back up or keep for this class, I'm going to put in my web design folder. Once you've kind of decided what you're keeping and everything, let's talk about backing things up. We're going to back it up to your Google Drive. Your Google Drive is cloud-based, so you can access it anywhere, and you can always re-download it to your Chromebook. But for now, you're going to have a backup copy, like a separate copy, like if you were going to put it on a flash drive or if you're going to save it to a disk. This just gives us a copy in case you lose your stuff in your downloads. So on the left-hand side, you'll see you have Google Drive. You're going to click on that little arrow, and you should have My Google Drive. Let's go ahead and click on My Google Drive. And it should have all your Google Drive folders that you normally have. So I'm going to close this up a little bit. In your Google Drive, let's go ahead and click on My Drive here. It's now accessing your Google Drive. So these are all the things that I have in my Google Drive. If I went to my Google Drive from Google, you would see all these things. In your Google Drive, let's create a folder. So I'm going to hit Alt. I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call it Web. All one word, please. So make sure you do that. Web Design. And then I'm going to call it Backup. So now I have a folder in my Google Drive called Web Design Backup. There it is. I can find it in my Google Drive if I want to kind of see it in there. If I click on that, you should be able to see it. I believe here we go, right there. Perfect. All right, so now that I have that, let's go back down to your downloads. Once you're in your downloads and you see web design, from your downloads in this right corner, you're going to copy it over to your Google Drive. So you notice, I'm going to scrooge up here. This part is my Google Drive. This part is my downloads. I am in my downloads right now. I'm going to take my folder, Web Design, and drag it over to my Google Drive folder called Web Design Backup. And basically it's backing up, making copies. So again, here's my Google Drive. I'm going to click on my Google Drive. I'm now in my Google Drive. See, this is where it says where I'm at. Here's my Web Design Backup, and if I click on this, I'll have my Web Design folder, and it should have all my files in there. So I have a backup in case something happens. This is like a separate copy, so don't work out of your Google Drive because it's not going to work. You're always going to keep working from your downloads because it's right on your computer. That's the only problem with the Chromebooks. Your downloads are kind of like your only hard drive. So that's where you got to keep all your files. However, by copying them over to your Google Drive, which is in the cloud, you'll have a backup copy. And that way, when we start doing larger projects, you won't lose anything just in case. So if you have the time, go ahead and organize your downloads, make a web design folder in your downloads, and then copy a web design folder as a backup into your Google Drive. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Just make sure you don't delete anything you're not sure about, okay? We can always fix it later, but once you delete something, it's hard to get it back. So try this if you have the time and you're done with Unit 2, Assignment 1. This will give you a good way to back up your things. Thank you, and email me any questions if you have any.